Welcome all, hello, welcome all my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Hanyo, your demon cinephile, and we have returned with Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York. So I'm actually on time for a stream, 8:37, so 7 minutes late, but hey, that's better than 30 minutes late. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a good day, good evening, good afternoon, whatever. I actually got a video done today. Well, I got a recording done today, nothing special. I was actually trying to do a lot more today, but I attempted to do some proper, some adult work and tried to take care of the house. Didn't succeed. Stopped. Like, I did the minimalist of things, but I tried. I watched the new movie on Shudder, Infinity Buffet, or Buffet Infinity, I forgot what it was. And that was a very, very interesting movie. It was a very interesting movie. I almost want to watch it again, but I'll post the review probably on Tuesday. I'll try to do some recording tonight and get that back up. I was gonna do the final recordings for I was gonna do the episode recording for Lanterns. Didn't get that done. I'll probably try to do it tomorrow morning, and then it'll come out when by the time episode 2 comes out. And I was gonna do the final recording for the Vampire Lestat today. Didn't get that done either, so I'll try to do that tomorrow. I don't know. Who knows? Gonna try to get a lot done tonight with this. I want to try to do a lot, but I gotta be honest, I have a very, very bad migraine. I have a very, very bad migraine. So I don't know how much we can get done, how much I can do before I have to cave out. So I'm gonna try to do at least 2 hours, What else can I tell you guys? That's right, the PlayStation Blackout is supposed to start tomorrow, I think. Or it's supposed to start today. I haven't heard anything about it, so I know I'll just turn off my PlayStation for a whole week. That'll be good. It'll give us time to try to focus on some of the games I have on the PC, and then I can also try to, I don't know, get some of those videos done I'm supposed to be getting done. But yeah, so let's just start the game and just try to have some fun. With my weak-ass voice acting. Night 2, the Anarchy. Oh, night 2 is ending. To go to night. You wish to end the night. Yes, end the night. Night 3. December 5 nights till New Year. It's painfully obvious, Paderick. I forgot how you're supposed to pronounce that name. I never believed I'd actually turn up for the meeting. I catch him off guard in front of his haven. He leans against the door, absent-mindedly and yet anxiously spinning his ring while scanning his surroundings. In the seconds when he looks away, I creep up quietly, and casually, relishing the oncoming surprise. Some friendly ripping isn't. Yeah, let's not be too mean about it. Hey there, pretty boy. You come here often? His head whips around, and for a split second, surprise and relief flash across his face before it contorts into confusion. What do you mean? It's my haven. I sleep here. I definitely a bit out of aspiration, but still managed a light-hearted laugh. You're no fun. Apparently, he decided to ignore me. Slipping back into his usual indifference, he gets into the car. I hop right in after. Let's play D'Angelo visit, shall we? Yeah, no time to dilly-dally, right? Correct. I'm pretty sure he's ignoring my sharp-ass remarks on purpose, but the way he slams on the gas pedal, that gives me a tiny glimmer of hope that he's not a lost cause. Either way, the perfectly serviceable vehicle does fine, cruising through the night street, and this time it's not even that awkward. D'Angelo, you here? Yeah, we were literally just here the last stream. The shithole he calls an office looks just the way I left it 2 nights ago, except for some new pins on the corkboard where he charts his crazy and trap-proof flung wide open, probably leading down to wherever he hides out during the day. Maybe you should give it a minute. He won't keep us waiting too long. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's us. Let's keep it in character. He needs some tough love. Keep it in character? Hey, Mr. Detective. A damsel in distress. Oh, yeah, because he likes to imagine he's a awesome, cool noir detective. Hey, Mr. Detective, a damsel in distress desperately needs your help, and then there's me. Bardark rolls his eyes, but to my disappointment, there's no comeback. D'Angelo squints at me as he emerges from beneath the floor, his lips moving silently, and I strain my ears to listen. They appear like shadows, the kind cast by the worn-out hopes and dreams of this wretched city. Dreams that could only be saved by none other than D'Angelo. Saved? That's a bit of a stretch, don't you think? He leans back over the rickery table, shaking his head as if to dislodge the noir cliches stuck in his brain. Golly, pleasure. As D'Angelo turns to Paderick, I catch a hint of smirk tucking at the corner of his mouth. Gianni. Paderick, look like you're still losing your head. Just not literally, huh? Indeed, the sheriff is yet to relieve me of my carnal burden. But worry not, there is still time until the new year. You might yet win that little bet of yours. Hi, Coco, what's wrong? What's wrong, baby girl? I probably shouldn't pry, given the fact that my own neck is on the line here, but I mean, there is a treasure trove of relationships to dig into here. Anyway, we came here to, I bet there's more to their relationship. The corkboard set update. Now let's focus on the case. There's a makeshift corkboard. These makeshift corkboards are totally plastered with photos, clipping. Oh, I gotta put you down. These makeshift corkboards are totally plastered with photos, clippings, text, and maps, all tied together with thin red lines. And unless my memory is as shitty as squirrels on speed, this crap wasn't here 2 nights ago. You know, I asked how you two freaks met, but all this red string spider webbing over your crazy map is just screaming for attention. Don't worry about it. Is that the thing you wanted to wrap up before getting the hell out of Dodge? What's it about? Power, corruption, all the usual suspects in the darkness suffocating this wretched city. I tune him out instantly as he gears for another long noir-esque wheel. It's a story as old as streets, my friend. It all started when... Please stop messing with my... Please stop messing with my stuff. I reluctantly dropped one of the many scattered pins and put my hands innocently in the air. I'd love to have a catch-up with you, Gianni, but we did have an agenda walking in here. A glimmer of light flickers in D'Angelo's shades as he turns towards me. I hate to break it to you, but if you're here for intel on Castle, you're out of luck. No leads since we last talked. It concerns Castle, broadly speaking. Although he's not exactly the crux of our conversation right now. Sweet Lord. Eli Sanskrit. Eli Sanskrit. Where do we find him, Gianni? D'Angelo narrows his eyes, squinting at me suspiciously, and fiddles with his e-cig. The serpent? What's your angle? What you after? He's my ticket out of this mess. Oh, your horses. Let me add to this one. He's like the only one of Renard's contacts that doesn't seem to fucking despise me. Or despise him. Since our other league was a bust, he's my best shot at finding Renard and shaking the Carmelia off my back. D'Angelo tilts his head like some curious, funky, ugly little rat. Damn! Heard through the grapevine you're marked for the crop, for the chop, but shit. Yeah, and I love to dish out all the dirty details, but I'm seriously pressed for time. So, where the hell is Sanskrit? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. D'Angelo takes a long drag of his e-cig as if he's really trying to savor the flavor. I wonder if he actually makes an effort to kickstart his taste buds, or if it's just part of his usual act. Oh, wait, actual effort to kickstart? Oh, so you can turn it back on? Like, you can actually still taste stuff? It takes some kind of effort? Sanskrit and his serpents are gone from Harlem, and nobody really knows why. But I've got theories, but they're just that, so... But you're just itching to tell me, right? I flash him a dazzling smile, but he just growls in return. He takes one more drag to regain his noir composure. What's that old line? Water under the bridge? I give him a curious glance. His answer was just a touch too quick and out there, as if he suddenly got nervous, but D'Angelo speaks up before I can probe any further. Look, I'm doing you dirty, throwing half-baked hints your way. Just check Sanskrit's usual hangouts. So, St. Philip's and the vicinity of Morningside Park are your best bets. They're not far from each other. You might just dig something up there. Thank you, D'Angelo. Those are solid leads. Ah, the faint whiff of sincerity in your bullshit makes it almost charming. I know they're not quite the Glengarry leads you're after, but hey, on these nights, beggars can't be choosers. So, is this intel gonna cost me the usual 2 blood bags? You keep your stash, kiddo. Just swim me in where Sanskrit's hiding once you sniff him out. And we're square. Sorry. His ugly mug suddenly goes serious. He straightens up and steps closer, eyeing both Pardarik and me intensely. Last time I warned you that shit's gonna hit the fan soon. But that's old news already. It's way worse now. You can feel it, can't you? I nod almost instinctively, catching Pardarik doing the same. I'm bailing earlier than planned, and I strongly advise you to consider doing the same. I won't sugarcoat it. I could use a lift and you could use some level-headed advice on the road. He looks generally terrified. Paderic and I slowly exchange looks before shaking our heads. I can't. Not just yet. Things are heated. I understand, but at the moment, Callie cannot leave, and I have been saddled with helping her in a way I can only describe as non-negotiable. D'Angelo sighs something visibly and waves his hand dismissively. In that case, just keep your eyes peeled for trouble. All right. Yeah, you too, pal. Until the next time, D'Angelo. Hopefully under a brighter moon. We're almost at the door when I hear his response, barely louder than a breath. Bright nights are all gone. Only nightmares remain. I should write that down. He makes his own catchphrases. Paderic and I come to a stop in front of a perfectly serviceable vehicle. We should... Now, I already know the crap you're gonna dish out. No, splitting up Callie. I can't fully trust you yet, Callie. But listen, it's late as hell already. We gotta hustle. We both go chasing Masquerade in the same spot. All we're gonna catch is sunrise. We gotta divide and conquer. I concur. See, I knew you would. Hold up. What do you mean you concur? SL smirk plays in the corner of his mouth before he reins it in. I agree that we have too much ground to cover, and since you kept your word and didn't flee last time, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt once more. I just stare at him, confused as hell, before erupting into laughter. I don't recognize you, man. Where's sick up the ass Patty? Who's this loose cannon they replace him with? Bedard twitches briefly, his smile disappearing without a trace and fingers crawling towards the ring. Don't slip my notice. He bounces back swiftly, though, and tucks his hands in his pockets. Let's part ways for now. Do you have a preferred destination? Oh, we have two options. We have a detour and two main quests. Okay, detour is what? Padaric's driving like he's getting for his personal best. I'm not complaining, but he's being strangely careless. I mean, this is Mr. Proper we're talking about. What could probably go wrong? Manhattan, this one. Chasing Eli, Morningside Park. The idea of finding Sanskrit in Morningside Park seems sketchy as hell, but hey, at least it's a lead that we actually have. Church. Oh, we're going to a church. Are we gonna be welcome? I know vampires aren't typically welcome in such holy places. Haven't been to a church in ages, so fingers crossed the floor won't scorch my feet. And that I find some info on what the heck happens to Sanskrit. Let's do this one. Let's do the side quest first. I actually love rushing into things. I'm pretty slick at handling stuff on the fly. Sure, things can go off the rails, but I usually got a quick fix up my sleeve. Shite. But when someone else is calling the shots and things go south, it absolutely drives me up the wall. Hang on, we need to stop. That's always when accidents happen and mistakes are me. The kind of mess I have no fix for. The kind I really can't afford right now. For the love of... So really, I'm more disappointed than surprised when suddenly there's a soft bang and Padaric's perfectly servable vehicle starts wobbling and swerves hard to the right. Sparks flying out from under. A flat tire. God damn it. No shit, Sherlock. I grin at him mockingly. Not so perfectly serviceable now, is it? Outrage flashes in his eyes. It's not the car's fault. Someone left nails on the godforsaken street. Besides, changing tire is a trivial matter as... Yeah, so do you have a spare or what? Bedard shoots me a disappointed look. Of course I have a spare. It's only sensible when... Right. Of course, Mr. Perfection. Thank you. Oh, paragon of good senses. Sure. I don't know why I even asked. Alright, so you do what you gotta do. I'm gonna go stretch my legs a bit. Hold on, I don't think... but I do. See ya! And I'm off before he can start truly protesting. I know he's gonna leave his precious baby all broken down and vulnerable on the side of the road just to chase after me. Plus, he knows I'm not gonna bail. There's a little point to it now. Anyway. Now then, anything interesting to do around here? As it turns out, there is. Although, I suppose that depends on your idea of interesting. There's some guy standing in front of a small crowd, yelling and flailing his arms around. I perform it, sure, I'll bite. I creep closer to take a look. Save us all. All you gotta do is strategize, prep, and tackle our current reality with clear objectives in mind. And for that, we have to look to the sky to survive. Wait. Is he high or something? Technology is the future. Plain and simple. Humans roaming the land. That's old news. That's all in the past already. As Aaron Fletcher put it. Jesus Christ, is one of those Fletcher sycophants. No wonder every single one of his listeners look like they're about to barf. Fletcher is not just a visionary. He's the embodiment of innovation. Where others see obstacles, he sees opportunities. Who the fuck is Aaron Fletcher? Why does the name sound so familiar? Right. Hey, there it is. Aaron Fletcher. Who the hell are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Here are you? A baseball player? What? Is it a baseball player? Okay, I feel like I'm missing some pretty deserving context. Our society is starved for role models, for genuine heroes. The man's got a plan for tomorrow, for what we as a collective are about to face. It's hilarious how his zeal is having entirely the opposite effect, given how quickly the crowd is thinning. Fucking sheeple. You'll be digging shitholes with your bare hands when he launches us, the enlightened, into the new era. Fuck yeah, let's roll out the red carpet for an era of failed projects and spectacular lack of common sense. Who said that? I didn't really mean to say out loud. And of course, yes you did. But I'm kinda glad I did. I crossed my arms, tilt my head confidently, and looked the weirdo straight in the eye. There's almost nobody left, so I guess it must have been me. He scoffs submissively. A female. I don't like the way he said female. Of course, how fitting. Purple hair, too. Your daddy didn't love you enough. Well, I do not like your generalization. I have no clue what her father thought of her. Straight to daddy issues, huh? You know, big guy, my old man is quite generous. I could probably convince him to give you a hearty embrace. Oh, she's talking about her maker. Not talking about her biological father. This whole thing you got going on here is practically screaming for a big old chunk of Papa's attention. The words escape my mouth even before I manage to process them. A whisper of laughter travels throughout the crowd, and the manic grows red in the face. A fitting color, I say. Listen here, you little bitch. I came here to enlighten the blind masses, to the genius Aaron Fletcher, not to be disrespected by a... You didn't want to be disrespected? But you're out here, all hot and sweaty, eagerly blowing Fletcher's trumpet. My guy, you're a real knob, if you know what I mean. Some of the crowd howls with laughter. All in blood in Fletcher's groupies rushes to his cheeks as he wheezes with outrage, eyes and veins bulging from his face. Shut the fuck up, you bitch! Wow, how super original. What's next? I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'll kill you. Hey, I got it. I got it. All bronze, no brains. I roll my eyes theatrically as he starts to elbow his way through the laughing crowd. Look, it's been a pleasure, but I'm sort of on the clock here. I'll fucking kill you. Asshole. Somebody should teach him a lesson. Ooh. Feral whisper. Eat shit. Don't piss off or yourself. Let him come. Ooh, let's do this one. I lock eyes with him and stop him mid-step. Sticky tendrils of my presence seep out of my skin like a fog, enveloping him tightly like a morning shroud and squeezing. You were saying? Well? He can't speak, eyes wide in panic, and pupils the size of dinner plates. I approach him, slowly until we're standing face to face, suffocating him even further. A little piece of advice, boy. If you threaten somebody, make sure you can back it up. Otherwise, it's just embarrassing. I glance down and see a steadily growing stain in on his pants, trickling down into a small puddle on the ground. I smirk and look up into his eye. Or humiliating, or both. I calmly walk away, cutting my presence off until the wacko crumbles wordlessly onto the ground. The crowd, unperturbed, disperses, leaving the petulant man-child in a puddle of his own piss. Well, that was a productive half hour. Wonder if Derek done with the tire. I finally returned to the nearly perfectly serviced vehicle. Podaric is so visibly annoyed that he's one straw away from stopping his foot. I know he's too well-mannered for that, but he crosses his arms and scowls at me. How nice of you to finally join me again. Let's be honest. You wouldn't believe what just happened. He gives me a belligerent look. Fine, no stories for you, buzzkill. Aw, come on, I could make fun of him then. Come on, let's go. Clues will wait, I hope. Alright, so it's time to go to either or. The church. I don't know, we've always been... I don't know, the park seems like a cool setting. I'd say the church... I don't know. We've been to the church in both games already. I haven't been to the park too. Let's go to church. Padera drops me off right at the church's entrance and then hurries off to comb through Morningside Park for any trace of Sanskrit. Finding the church wasn't easy. Hell, nothing really is. Nothing really is outside the usual New York hotspot list. But once you hit the right street, you just can't miss it. It looms large, that huge rose window glaring down at a patch of land which in the warmer month is probably a vibrant green. Right now, though, it's just a dead white blanket of snow. I stare at the church, rubbing my hands together and thinking hard. I guess there's nothing to it. I just have to check this place out, brick by brick, cranny by cranny. The church is built up tight for the night, but when has that shit ever stopped me, right? A couple of twists and some elbow grease and that crusty old padlock snaps open. I used to have this thought, not too long after the embrace. Every time I went by a church or a chapel, where I set foot inside and get fried to a crisp by divine wrath. I mean, Renard did clue me in a bit on how shit works in this twisted new world. He wasn't exactly jumping to teach me anything beyond the tricks of the game. But he was crystal clear that unless I got astronomically unlucky, garlic was nothing to worry about. Still, it took some serious guts to step into a church for the first time, and when I finally did, I didn't burst into flames. But I did stumble upon a missionary who made it out of North Korea, and I actually learned a couple of things. First off, seeing a holy cross, like consecrated one, gives me the heebie-jeebies. A bizarre quirk that totally is unique to me, I guess, since Renard burst out laughing when I mentioned it. Second, people with that rare, deep, unshakable faith seriously freak me out. They make me feel like a terrified critter in a wildfire, doom hot on my heel. Before I got embraced, I never really picked a lane about this kind of stuff. I guess being undead decided for me. So if I'm gonna meet my final death, it's gonna be in a blaze of glory, doing something awesome, reckless, and highly entertaining. Not because I got singed by holy water. There's not a soul in sight, just a shit ton of rats. Ooh, is a Renville here? Is there a Renville? Is it Nosferatu? I mean, sure, they're sort of the unofficial mascots of the city, but this place is crawling with them, and they are huge, fat as fuck, as if they ate like kings. You have to step careful because I already dodged a few outraged squeaks and attempts to bite my ankles. At least no crucified Jesus is hanging around anywhere. Guess even he has to crash at his buddy's place when his pad is getting a makeover. Oh, is the church under renovation? Did they say that it's in... Oh, notice it? It takes me a while to thoroughly search the premise and confirm that Sanskrit is indeed elsewhere. Honestly, it's hard to tell if he was ever here at all. After a few minutes of aimless wandering, I stumble upon a notice board cluttered with scraps of paper, parish notices, holy pictures, and what looks like a handwritten prayers. As a connoisseur of the weird and wonderful, only one prayer catches my eye. It's paper oddly untouched by time's passing. It's so glanarly out of place that I can't help gently pulling out the board for a closer look. North of the heavens, his grand celestial shrine, brother in the Lord, united by blood divine, island blessed by his touch, where saints and angels shine. Well, I guess that's what local publishing does to poetry. Suddenly, I'm hit with the weird urge to share this find with Paderic. I wonder if he'd be puzzled by the text, or just crack a smile and start rattling on about his true meaning. Guided by that impulse, I tucked the prayer into my belt bag. Then, as unlife goes, I promptly forget about it. Especially when a whole swarm of rats burst out of the crack in the wall. Their instant chittering fills the air. But what besqueaks my interest is a trap door. Right next to the crack is outline barely visible against the dusty flooring. Where could it lead? Trap door, don't go down there. Haven't you watched Evil Dead? There's a sudden itch to get to the bottom of it, literally and figuratively. I have to. I need to find out, to explore the unknown, the perilous, the hidden. Overwhelmed by fierce curiosity, I scramble on my hands and knees like an animal, groping around the trapdoor for any handle, lock, or leverage point I can find. Sure enough, there's a small handle, but no lock, just a narrow slit where the trapdoor doesn't quite fit right. I shove my fingers into the slit and find out it's been bolted shut from the inside. The question of how someone locked it barely registers as the bitter taste of disappointment and frustration floods my mouth. So it means there's somebody in there right now. And how else could someone lock it from the inside unless there's another opening somewhere, or the person on their side has teleportation powers? Oh, and now I notice voices drifting in from and outside. They're distant, so it's tough to tell if they're a threat or just some dudes on a late night booze cruise. But this barrier, this delayed gratification, it really fucking pisses me off. Let's keep going with this one. Before I can suppress the feral urge, I find myself snarling like a beast, tearing the door apart in a fit of uncontrollable rage. Yes! It yields to my unnatural strength as easily as soggy cardboard, and soon I've got enough grip to just rip the trapdoor off its hinges and fling it aside without a second thought. I look into the yawning darkness beneath. Perhaps it leads to the crypts or some other intriguing underground parts of the church. Not that it really matters. The narrow passage is jam-packed with corpses. They're in various stages of decay, and they're all been gnawed on by rats. They don't look like anyone in particular, but again, it's hard to tell with their flesh full of holes and tears. Why would there be bodies here? I mean, even the church is going under construction. It seems like a risky place to hide your victims. Some of them may have been bitten by a fellow kindred, with what looks like puncture wounds on their necks. These marks are well hidden, though, concealed among the countless rat bites. Right as I fully snap back to reality, the voices grab my attention once more. And this time they're louder, more urgent, coming from the vicinity of the vestry. Shit. No fucking chance I'm waiting around to find out who they belong to. I leave the trapdoor open and hurry toward the exit. The figures under the rose window taunting me as I bail. I hate leaving things in such a mess. Didn't find much in the way of clues, but it'll have to do. I leisurely approach the meeting spot just in time for Paderic to pull over, and so I gracefully get into the car, closing the door behind me. Fingers crossed he snagged it betterly than I did. Oh, come on, Patty, tell me your story. So many updates on... So, any updates on your end? Since Garrick wasn't chilling in the park, was he? No luck there, unfortunately. It was a dead end. I noticed a slight twitch in his right eyebrow. If he's pissed about wasting time on something, or is it about something else? Ow. How about you? Did you find something at the church? Nah, not really. Unless Sanskrit turned into a rat, then yeah, there were tons of little Sanskrits running around. Could you be more specific? Yeah, it was a real shit show down there. Someone dumped a whole bunch of bodies into the crypt. I would check the bodies for some ID, but these sketchy types were hovering around the church. Didn't stick around long enough to see if they were on the hunt. I see. That's a level of reasoning I wouldn't have expected from you, to be blunt. So it's a welcome surprise, despite how poorly your investigation turned out. Was there anything of note other than the rats? Oh, now that you bring it up, I pull out the handwritten prayer I found on the notice board. Check out this prayer here. I figure he'll skim it while multitasking, but nope. Derek immediately pulls over before he even touches the note. Safety first, huh? What a guy. Oh shit, just bumped the microphone. What do you make of it? Not sure. It just caught my eye. A clean piece of paper among raggedy scraps. Derek reads through it carefully a few times, and I could swear I see a light bulb go off above his head. I reckon you were onto something, Callie. Here, pay attention to the first word of each line. I lean in closer. North Brother Island. Ah, interesting. There's one of those islands in the East River. A fairly bleak spot, which fits the mystery to a T when you think about it. We both sit in silence for a moment as he absently spins his ring, looking downright miserable. So, this is our best shot, I guess. Sure seems that way. Better step on it. We don't have much time before sunrise. Oh, brother. North Brother Island. It might not seem like much, but with all the loose ends strewn around us, we finally snagged a solid lead. North Brother Island is not the liveliest spot, but hey, it's totally the mystery style if you ask me. Alright, North Brother Island. Ooh, I like it. A little eerie. I used to be one of those kids who was always running around and stirring up some shit after school. Shocking, I know. One of the favorite pastimes of my gang of little rascals was exploring the ruins of the Old Hill Hospital at night. Well, exploring might be a bit of a stretch. We never actually got inside, just dared each other to stare into the windows for as long as we could. Usually, I was the last girl standing, but let me tell you, those hours after dusk in the fall when every whisper of the wind, every rustle of the tree was multiplied by 100. They were torture. Now I kind of miss those days. So when Derek and I hit the wrecked pier of North Brother Island and see the derelict building nearby, I almost squealed with delight. Almost. The ambience is pretty much ruined by the shitty new RIBs moored along the pier. I'm not sure what that means. They're probably referencing a boat. Some of them have clearly been been used in the last few hours, judging by the mud and melted snow on the seats. So yeah, probably a boat. Just to make sure we're on the same page, what exactly is your connection to Sanskrit? Be honest, let's be careful. Just work stuff. It was one of Renard's clients. I've said that before, yes, but how does that involve you? I nervously chew on my lower lip. I really don't want to spill all the beans. I've grown used to Paderic and don't want him to see me in even worse light. Or gods forbid, dislike me. As I on a tiny little lie of omission. He used to place orders through Renard. I guess the one who actually got the stuff. And then Renard passed it along to him. Never met the guy. I see. That is consistent with what you said before about them having a relatively good relationship. How do you plan to exploit that? I snort. Half pissed that he knows me too damn well. Half amused at good relationship crap, since all it means is they didn't try to actively kill each other. Oh, the knocking. I'm just about to break it down for him when suddenly those gunshots. They're getting closer. We duck down and sir, some guy comes tearing onto the pier, screaming his lungs out in the terror. He's running backwards, tripping over every bump while desperately trying to shoot at something in the trees, unaware that his clip has been empty for a while. He's decked out head and toe in urban warfare gear, reminiscent of the hunters I had the pleasure of meeting a few times lately. He hasn't noticed us yet, blinded by his delirious fear. Perfect moment to strike. Should we feed? We haven't fed in a day. Might not. Not like our character has any real morals about this. My footsteps are silent on the compacted snow as I sneak up on the guy, quieter than a ghost. In a flash, I knock the gun from his trembling hands. Before he even knows what hits him, he screams, is cut off by a soft, surprised moan as my fangs sink into his cord and neck. I'm not picky when it comes to feeding, but fuck me, he tasted vile, high on adrenaline, muscles already burning with acetic acid, and from his panic run. It's a weird feeling, the bliss of satisfaction mixed with the disgusting taste of a meal. I drink enough and lay his body onto the ground, wiping my mouth off with a disgusted grimace. All done. I resist the urge to spit. Yeah, but shit, he was foul. He didn't look the type, yes. If those were Sanskrit's ministers who pushed this poor bastard to the edge, I'm not exactly eager to meet him myself. Paderic nods, looking at the lifeless body. He makes no move to hide it, so I don't bother either. We share a quick glance before sneaking cautiously through the thicket toward the ruins looming over the bare trees. We trend carefully through the bushes, mindful of the crunch of the snow underfoot. But let's be honest, the distant gunshot would have covered the sound of a stampede. Although the shooting has died down in the last couple of minutes and replaced by blood-curdling screams of torment, we stumble upon several corpses, and surprisingly, a decapitated skeleton with scraps of decomposing flesh still clinging to it. The murder of crows feasting on the scene couldn't care less. To them, Charon's Charon. Carry-on's Karen? I give us both some pause. Those fuckers. The screams are almost drowned out by the gunfire now, suggesting that the ministers might be getting the upper hand. Better them than the hunters. I just hope they don't mistake us for enemies and decide we deserve a similar fate. Great, Callie. You've got yourself right in the middle of a fucking war zone. The whole city feels like a battlefield. Wait, one second here. Got Mama Hanyo just responded to something. The whole city felt like a battlefield these nights. It's just our luck that we arrived right in time for the hostilities here. So, what's the plan? We could try sneaking past, hoping the hunters are too busy with the serpents to notice us, or... Look! Over there. There's a spot under the class floor where we could hide out and wait for this to blow over. But Derek cocks his head, pondering absentmindedly, twirling his ring, not in a panic this time, but more like using it to focus. Huh. Finally, he drops his hand and looks at me calmly. I say we go with where your daredevil instincts recommend. You sure you didn't hit your head on your way here? You actually said you have a good idea? Positive. Ooh, which one should we do? This is in our fight. A score some points with sense correct. Yeah, let's wait this out. I mean, this isn't our fight, right? No harm in letting them tear each other apart. Let's just hide. Very well. Ever the gentleman, he heaves himself first onto the half-collapsed surface, and then reaches down to help me up. We make ourselves comfortable among the darkness and rubble and observe the room below with bated. Well, honestly, we're pretty damn eager to see how it all goes down. Sense the beast. Let's have a look. The silence in the room feels eerie. The silence in the room feels eerie, too damn quiet for the situation. I don't know what the hell is happening, and I hate not knowing. So I lean back, close my eyes, and drift away, letting go of my senses of my sense of self, and floating up and up and up, more securely to the body, but somehow outside of it. I peer down at the ruins around me and open my inner eyes to the beast. Is she astro projecting? Is she astro projecting? I didn't know that was a power in here. One second, guys. Mama Hanyo's out, just making sure she's okay. Okay. Alright, go. The dog just woke up. And I see so many beastly lights all over the island. Some strong, some weak, some distant, others alarmingly close, and some right fucking below us. My eyes fly open as a squad of hunters barrage into the room, barking orders, all clad in some sort of military gear, guns pointed all over. They frantically look into every nook and cranny, through the door, out the window, everywhere their paranoid minds suspect we might be hiding. But not up. None of them even think to look up. Maybe they can't, pigs that they are. The hunters move to leave the room, when suddenly I hear a loud ting, and the guy in the front of the door looks like he's about to lose his head. And that's exactly what happens. His head is severed by a cut so clean that his body stands stumbly for a moment before crumbling onto the ground. Behind stands a group of serpents, all decked out in leathers and gold, scary as fuck. For a split second, the room goes deathly quiet, and then all hell breaks loose. The hunters and serpents clash with each other. Gunshots echo, cries fill the air, and the blood flows freely. It is all over in less than a minute, and the kindred predictably emerge victorious, leaving one last victim unscathed. Hi, baby girl. You went back down? You okay? Coco, okay? You okay? She's good. She's good. The silence that falls is so oppressive that it almost buzzes in my ear. I start to think I've gone deaf, but I see Derek checking his ears, and I relax a little, relieved that I'm not the only one so overwhelmed. The serpents don't move, don't speak, and this heavy silence filled only by scent of blood. The sounds of approaching footsteps echo like thunder. The man who enters the room is barely my height, but he carries himself with the grandeur of a king, the ruthless ruler of his domain. Eli Sanskrit, the most powerful snake himself. From the silence of his movement, it is instantly clear that his thunderous entrance was all for show, an imitation, a warning. Magnanimously, he was giving the assailants a chance to flee in disgrace. Or letting them scatter for a more interesting hunt, more likely. Hell, I'm not sure why Derek and I didn't just bolt. The last remaining hunter tries frantically to crawl away, but he collapsed under Sanskrit's steel cat boot. That's when I realized that the serpent is walking too oddly. He's dragging a dead hunter, impaled on the enormous claw protruding from his fingers. The body slides to the ground with a hollow thud. A kindred who seems to be his child, second in command, hands him a clean handkerchief, which he used to wipe the blood off his hands, and then he promptly flings it onto the corpse. Standing over the whimpering hunter, he surveys the mortal with sheer disdain, then tilts his head to make direct eye contact with me. Judging by your sulking in the shadows like frightened kittens, I gather you play no role in tonight's hostilities, correct? His presence is overwhelming, igniting a flash of self-reflection. All the choices I've made in the life and unlife were wrong, and I should be ashamed of myself. But I see Derek nod leisurely, owning our strategic cowardice, so I lean into his confidence and reply, better frightened kittens than dead ones, right? But yeah, we did take out one guy outside. Do you want a body count, sir? What I need from you is to step down here this instant. Unless you fancy being dealt with as foes. Padarik and I look at each other and lower ourselves slowly onto the ground. Sanskrit's gaze locks on me, unblinking, his posture rigid as a cobra. His stare is so intense it almost makes me sweat. If I could sweat, that is, and I weren't so damn used to pressure. I try to appear relaxed and confident when he lets out a short, sharp whistle. Instantly, two of his serpents lift the last hunter, propping his limp body into a standing position, but Sanskrit doesn't spare him a glance. His eyes are fixed on me. He's been a real annoyance, this one. Quite the rogue, wouldn't you say? Of course you would. Why don't you teach him a lesson? It's clearly not a real question, and the only acceptable response is a dutiful yes, sir. Lingering kiss, spill your guts. Probably this one. It feels more in character. The perpetually spinning cogs in my head go into overdrive, looking for a way to impress Sanskrit. What do I know about him? He relished a show of power, that's for sure, but in what flavor? Cruel? Formidable? I'm running out of time. I feel excitement rising like the tide, and the itch to do something dangerous and reckless return with suffocating strength. But as the tension hangs thick in the air and I open my mouth to speak, I instantly realize I fucked up. What I'm about to do is not enough. Spill. Thunder's eyes are wide with horror. He starts spouting off like a terrified kid, his words jumbled and shaky, making it hard to catch anything but snippets among his whimpers. The island, he said one. Eventually, he dissolves into a mass of sobs. All he can do is wrap his arms around his knees and rock back and forth, teetering on the edge of madness. Sanskrit clicks his tongue in disapproval, and despite myself, I wince at the sound. Go! Hey, baby girl. Hey. Hey, calm down. Calm down. You're good. You're okay. You alright? Is there someone outside in the hallway? Made you mad? Scared you? You're good. How unimaginative. Truly a child would come up with a better game. His serpent's eyes finally leave me, turning to a sad heap on the ground that used to be a proud hunter. He approaches the hunter slowly, lazily, and then with both hands lift the mortal off the ground by the shoulders. I watch from the sidelines as Sanskrit bearing changes completely. Gone is the relentless insanity, the danger, the zeal. His eyes look soft and sweet when he locks them in with the hunters and murmurs something into his ears, gently as is soothing a frightened animal. I watch with increasing surprise as the hunter melts into Sanskrit's arms and embraces him, sobbing into the crook of his neck and clawing desperately at his back as if trying to draw him closer. So the kiss option was the correct option. God. It looks intimate, reverent, an encounter with the most beloved divine. Sanskrit carefully pulls away, ignoring the hunter clean hands, and fishes out a hand grenade from the hunter's gear. Return to your patron. Make him see the error of his ways. The hunter immediately gets up, feet unsteady, and limps away through the door into the cold darkness. His gait is awkward and clearly uncomfortable because he doesn't, not for even a second, avert his worshipful eye from Sanskrit's face. Come. He struts towards the pier, his entourage obedient in tow. And of course, we're dragged along too, thanks to an overly persistent serpent who thinks shoving us somehow is necessary. It's not like we have a choice, right? With no more distractions, the path seems way shorter than I remember. I can see one of those RIBs bobbing on the East River in the distance. Must be that charmed hunter off to ruin his boss's night. Now, Sanskrit turns to Parderic and me, sizing us up with an icy glare. But even though his tone regains that frightening intensity from before, now there's a hint of benevolence. You have the misfortune of catching me in a nasty mood. I'm afraid, but if you provide an acceptable explanation for trespassing on my turf, I might just let you go. Well, I flick a glance at Parderic and catch his subtle nod on the corner of my eye. Name's Callie, and there's... Oh, I know who that is. The Baron's lapdog, the court's errand boy. I'm more interested in you. Gotta say, being in this kind of spotlight doesn't exactly boost my confidence. Hey, baby girl, what's wrong? Are you shaking? Are you cold? Am I cold? Can you get a blanket for you? Come on, come on. 1 second, guys, 1 second. I'm Renard Castle's child. I run with this Corte, and I know you have business relations with him. I was actually the one who rushed the delivery of those trinkets you wanted. Where's the button? Oh, yeah. I didn't realize Sanskrit's face could grow even more sour, but here we are. His lips curl down, he knits his eyebrows, and he glares at me like I just kicked his cat. But then unexpectedly he throws his head back and laughs. Loud, free, mocking laughter that makes me lose my cool. His laughter abrupt stops, and he's back to staring at me coldly, unblinkingly, perfectly posed. I haven't heard from good old Ray in months, child. Whatever you think you procured from me went to someone else's hands. He falls silent briefly, then his serpent eyes narrow. Do you even know what exactly it was that you acquired for him? My silence is his answer. Not gonna lie, his words hit me hard and I'm a little flustered. Renard rarely designed to share his plans with me, but it wasn't like he made a habit of lying straight to my face. Why would he hide it all from me, specifically? As Sanskrit makes yet another disappointing sound at me, Pandera clears his throat and shifts the settee scalding focus onto himself. Will you mind telling me about your last dealing with Castle? Any information you could help? I roll my eyes at this stiff and obvious attempt at wheeling info out to Sanskirk, but he only smirks. This sighs as if thinking about Renard brought him great anguish. Which admittedly might have. Nobody really thinks about Renard unless they absolutely have to. And by that time, it's usually too late. I don't mind, though I must say that brat truly was insufferable, fixed on the antediluvians like a child obsessed with a new toy. I'm staring at him, totally lost. Antediluvians. That's a first. What did Renard even want with the antediluvians? And what did he go asking the ministry? As if reading my mind, Sanskrit tosses me a sharp look and continues. How he came to learn that my clan, me in particular, holds knowledge on our most ancient ancestors is a mystery to me. But seeks me out he did, asking numerous questions about ancestry, power, and blood. I jump a little when he waves his hand dismissively after such a long period of standing still. Let me be perfectly clear. The history of Clan Renovius was never an interest to me, and I had little desire to discuss it. Neither had Renard up until a few months ago. What prompted his interest in these topics, I haven't the slightest, but I bet the promise of profit was his primary motivation. What I will say, however, is that his focus on, how did you put it, business relations waned significantly. That's news to me as well. As far as I know, it was pretty much business as usual all the fucking time. For the first time in our conversations, Sanskrit face twists into the picture of true savagery. No more pleasantries, aspirations, or hints of courtesy, only anger, relentless and feral. Renard Castle has been slipping in his promises, O child of his. I am done graciously waiting for reparations. I sneak a look at Pederic and see him nod at me encouragingly. So I collect all the broken and unkept pieces of myself and put them back together again. You can do it, Callie. Be charming, be careful, be calm, never make a promise even those you tend to keep. I get it, so let me speak plainly. Renard is missing. Whether he is gone for good or just lying low, I can't say. No one's been able to reach him. I think he's out there somewhere, hiding, but he's off the radar. You got your ear to the ground. Heard anything about Renard in the last few nights? I have no interest in that brat in so much of the objects he swore to procure for me. And since now I am aware he had no hands in obtaining them, it is high time I move on to greener pastures. Don't you think? Especially since I know they intend to deliver. Yes? Sanskrit almost seems like he might lighten up with a wink, but no. His expression snaps back to his usual icy detachment as he leans forward slightly, his gaze as steady and chilling as a snake's. Renard Castle meddles with powers beyond his kin. I wouldn't be surprised if the sudden uptick in hunter activity was linked to his actions as one way or another. I wait, hoping he'll elaborate on this strange and frankly insulting connection he's implying, but it seems he considers our discussion done. He straightens up and signals to his second-in-command, who quickly moves in to receive his whispered instructions. There's no way this can be all we take away from such a critical meeting. I cast Bederic Eye and suddenly move closer to him, ensuring our next words are a shield from any serpent ears. What's our next move? Since Scarrick's clues about Renard too. Your sire's messing with dangerous shit. Great. Tell me something I don't know. What now? He hesitates briefly. Doesn't it bother you? The castle has been undermining you and reneging on commitments that involve your work. Ow. Of course it bothers me. What do you think? He was supposed to screw other people over, not me. I see. Shall we take our farewell then? Hold up, there's one more thing I need to ask. I back away from our little hurdle and cough to grab Skirk's attention. He acknowledges me right away, but he takes his sweet time wrapping up his chat before shooting me an impatient look. Just one more thing before we scram. The circuitry system seems to have hit a list, and Renard is sitting at the top. Any clue what that's about? Sanskritic eyes narrowing in anger and contempt. Well, color me astonished. He was blabbing on and on about his latest illustrious benefactor who could help him circumvent the red market. He makes such a sour face that if we were still mortals, I'm sure he'd be spitting in disgust. Seems like he ended up on the bad side of that slumbering bitch on the Hudson. Good riddance for that. I'm utterly well. Yeah, who are you talking about? Is that the shitty person we keep seeing at the end of each night? And who do you mean exactly? My attention remains fixed on Sanskrit, but I can't ignore the abrupt, frantic motion of Patty violently spinning his damned ring. Sanskrit garnishes his teeth, and a low, seething murmur ripples through his followers. That Tismis bitch, Verita, or whatever the fuck her name is. You don't know her? Then count your blessings, child. What's her deal? Her deal is that she waltzes in like she owns the place and steals what's been rightfully ours for decades. His eyes blaze with a pure yellow light, fangs elongating as his jaw loosens in a furious scream. I swear I catch a glimpse of a forked tongue flickering back into his mouth as he calms down, regaining his usual captivating appearance. I add two and two together and realize this Verita must have been the one who ousted the serpents from their turfs in Harlem. I shoot a knowing glance at Pederic, but he's too fixated on the damn ring of his. So I decide to press Sanskark a bit harder. I wonder what kind of relationship Renard has with this Verita. Do you think? I do not think about her, child of Renard, nor do I wish to start. My time is precious. We're done here. So much for pressing. Sanskrit fully turns his back to me, conferring with some of his serpents. I strained my ears to hear their whispers, not even out of need to hear what they're saying, but more of sheer curiosity. But Padar gently tugs on my sleeve. I think our meeting has concluded. We shall leave before Sanskrit himself drives us off his turf. Yeah, we're leaving empty-handed, huh? Well, at least we confirm that Sanskrit has nothing to do with Castle's disappearance. Let's discuss strategy once we are gone from this place. I nod, clear my throat loudly, and speak without fainting for Sanskrit to face me. Thanks for not throwing us out on our asses sooner, Sanskrit. And for the info too, we'll get out of your hair now. I spin on my heel, but his stare halts me dead in my tracks. You should leave the city, child. Looking for that sire of yours will yield nothing but death and ruin. And if your leaving means that brat digs himself deeper into his own shit, he gives me a smirk, the first one yet. Then I might be willing to lend a hand. I'm ready to snap at him, scream in his face that I don't need his damn pity. But then it hits me like a freight train. He's not offering me help out of sympathy. He get off on watching Renard suffer, no doubt about it. But then his offer, it's like this weird mix of prickly ass kindness, something you hardly ever see in our own kindred world. And it's that fucked up kindness alone that keeps my mouth shut. So instead I give a silent nod and hook arms with Patrick as we dip out of the decrepit building into the frigid dead of night. Yeah, hurry up. Let's try and finish this and we'll make this a short stream. Even I have heard some crazy legends that popped up around the ministry over the years. I don't give a shit if they can actually control the elements. But the second we bailed from the shithole on North Brother Island, a ruthless wind kicked up, shoving us right back on our boat. It's like Mother Nature screaming at us to get the hell out, to run and ditch this cursed dump before it sucked us dry. So yeah, we totally bailed. We zoomed across East River and only chilled when that wicked wind finally took a break from breathing down our necks. That's when it dives into the city, into the icy Hudson, stirring up wild waves. And as we're talking on this pier, the thunderous crash of the water drowns out our voices, all fierce and intense, like it's slurping up our words and stashing them away. Let's recapitulate. First, Jessica Wainwright says Renard Castle is now #1 in the circulatory system hit list. Padarg isn't the type to make big gestures while he talks. He usually just spins his ring or shoves his hands deep in his pockets, but this time he's putting on a bit of a show, ticking off imaginary bullet points on his fingers. Yeah, and I'm probably going down with him if I don't stop digging. Not like I got much of a choice in you, Hal. Correct. And second, Ali Sanskrit, or Eli, swears he hasn't talked to Renard Castle in months. And the items. Yeah, items sound about right. Right. The items you arranged for Sanskrit, though, Castle hasn't shown up yet. Castle has also developed a rather intense, almost obsessive interest in the antediluvians, but his reasons and objectives are still a mystery. I just quietly nod along. Renard Castle has been MIA for the past few nights, despite having meeting lined up. He goes quiet for a bit, spinning his ring like he's trying to tether his thoughts to something solid. In all honesty, none of this sounds promising. Not for finding him, and definitely not for his safety. He stops talking and just stares off into space, fiddling with his ring. What else is new? But there's another piece of intel we've dug up. And there's that Timiskir from the Hudson. Verita, was it? Verita. Verata, was it? Sanskrit mentioned she's after Renard. Don't know much about her, just that she's got some sort of show on the Hudson. We should definitely look into her. That ring of his spinning's faster now, and I somehow sense that Padarg is about to piss me off with another load of bullshit. It hits me all of a sudden. He does that a lot, doesn't he? Spins that ring and then spouts nonsense of flip his stance. I'm not convinced that the smartest approach. What solid proof do we actually have that ties her to Castle, aside from the rumbling of a disgruntled serpent? There we go. None, but then again, we don't have much of anything solid. so we might as well chase up what leads we do have, right? That makes sense. He keeps spinning his ring, his expression smoothing out like he's trying to straighten his thoughts. However, I think it might be better to focus our investigation on the circulatory system. Is this him being pragmatic, anxious, or maybe did he just spin that ring and let fate decide? Honestly, that feels way riskier than just chatting with one kindred. I can't believe I'm the one who wants to play it safe. There's no way he lets sheer chance guide his actions, right? Not Mr. Cool and Collected. It's got to be something about Verita herself. Is she really that intimidating? Are you scared of her? Well, since Kirk did imply that she single-handedly ousted his entire group out of Harlem. To be fair, he also suggested that she just does whatever she wants. And he's not a fan because she totally stepped on his toes. He turns away and spins his ring faster as yet another realization dawns on me. From what little I know, it's out of character for Paderick to be scared of someone he hasn't met. Hold on. Do you know her? Like, personally? I don't. Well, I've heard of her. Word travels fast, and she's been the talk of the town for some time. Now, she's quite the enigma. No one knows where she came from. No one knows where she came from or why she chose New York. Only that she invades territories and stands her ground decisively. Spin, spin, spin. And that unknown element is precisely what makes her a threat. Spin, spin, spin. I'm so tempted to rip that fucking ring off his finger and smash it into pieces. I shut my eyes and grip my teeth, trying to concentrate. I get it, you're being cautious, but I'm really not in a position to tiptoe around a potential lead. Maybe all the scary stories are just gossip and she actually is quite reasonable. Perhaps. But this is fact, not gossip. Many kindred who sought her out have never returned. But that's also true for both the Camarilla and Anarch turfs, where we've taken risks and gotten useful intel. I don't get why you're all weird about looking into Verita, especially since you've never even met her. Or so you claim. But Durf, he stops spinning his ring and grips it tightly, his knuckle turning a shade paler. The main difference between her and the Camarilla is that with the ivory tower, you can occasionally talk your way out of the deal, negotiate, like you did a couple of nights ago. With Verita, the story has just one ending. You disappear. His explanation almost makes sense, but he won't even look at me as he speaks, just gaze off into nothing, fingers constantly dancing on his stupid ring. And while I get that everyone has their quirks, I'm not demented enough to think I don't have any. It's really starting to get on my fucking nerves. You know what? As much as it kills me to say it, you're right. This Verata chick is way too dicey to just waltz up to. Let's stick to something more solid for now. Yes, exactly. He sounds so relieved. It almost makes me feel bad for what I'm about to do. Almost. But then he starts spinning that goddamn ring again. It's just that... this is killing me. I need to do something with my hands before I literally explode. A look of concern flickers across his face. Literally? Explode? Does that have something to do with your clan? Nah, it's just how I'm wired. Got a coin or something I can toss? Maybe a pebble? A button? He gives me a puzzled look but dutifully digs into his pocket and hands me a coin. A quid, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks, so... Oh shit, look at that. Looks like the serpents are having second thoughts about letting us walk. As he turns to look, confused, I swiftly snag both the coin and his cherished ring from his hand before he can turn back. I slip the ring on my finger and step back. Never mind, probably just my mind playing tricks. What's up with your ring? Just tell me. Up close, the ring is actually pretty inaccurate. Incorrect. Even kind of beautiful. It is a dice spinner that mimics a D20 die. I give it a flick. It lands on a 1. I choose not to take them as I choose not to see it as an omen. My ring. What? I lift my hand and give my fingers a little wave, flashing the double band. If he were immortal, Patrick would be the portrait of distress right now, with his pupils shrinking to dots. He reaches out with a trembling hand. Give it back. Why the fuzz? It's a cool piece and all, but seriously, what's the big deal? You don't understand. I really need it back, please. I stand my ground with my arms crossed, watching him falter. His body tenses as if to jump, then relaxes abruptly. His hands clenched and unclenched. It's clear he is struggling to keep himself composed, almost on the verge of kneeling. I know he's been putting on a show these past few nights. He's a pro, and I get that. Game recognizes game. But right now, he looks so downright pathetic that I have to really remind myself that we're both just playing parts here. Callie, I'm serious. Please give it back. It could turn really ugly really fast. Give it back. Give it back. Give it back. He seems so. Am I the bad guy here? This can't go on. I need to find out. I will if you tell me what the fucking problem is. Look at this from my angle, will you? I feel like I'm about to lose my head here. And you're acting like it's fine to gamble with my existence. You get how messed up that sounds, right? That's not what you think. Please, hand it over and... Then what? You'll just skirt around the issue? That's all you ever fucking do. He stays quiet, teeth clenched, shivering on the ground. If he were going through withdrawals, who knows, maybe he is. You really don't think much of me, do you? Haven't I shown you I'm reliable enough? Come on, Paderek, quit the games. Just this once, and trust me. What's going on with you? I might be able to help, you know. I pry his hand away from the decaying plank that he's clearly crushed, slip the ring onto his finger, and step back, just in case he decides to take a well-deserved swing at me. The reaction is instantaneous. I watch in silence as he curls in on himself, cradling his hand to his chest, his head bowed, shoulders heaving with sharp, near-mortal breaths. It takes a while for him to find his words. I wrestle with my impatience. Just stay cool. Wait. Right when I'm about to blurt out something stupid, he speaks. I do not leave important decisions to a die roll. Absolutely not. You're right. It would be mentally foolish. He lifts his gaze from the ring and looks at me with a piercing clarity. I plop down next to him, nodding at him to go on. The ring. I consider it my lifeline. It keeps me from drowning in on the relentless flood of voices inside my head. It doesn't shut them up entirely, but it dampens them. It makes them manageable, subdued. Wait a minute. Is that what you've been so obsessed with about inner voices? And that dustborn sauna? Yes, I'm searching for a more lasting solution. Or for some clarity, at least. Clarity on what? What these voices actually represent. You don't know? I know. I've known these voices as long as I can remember. I understand why they grew stronger after my embrace, but I also know they're not what others experience. I'm Paderek. I'm lost. What others are you talking about? He falls silent for a hot minute, the ring on his finger twitching intensely. It's a truly irritating sight. I should probably look away before I'm tempted to yank it off again. I am Machiavellian, Callie. The whole Catif act is just a facade. Okay, and his gaze, filled with suspicion, narrows in on me. You don't seem terribly shocked. Machiavellian, that's like the evil, not evil clan, but like the schemers, right? The ones who are kind of mad. I mean, what are we if not the secret we keep? Callie isn't even my real name, you know. Huh? What is it then? Slow down, Turbo. We're still unpacking your little masquerade here. What's up with that? Why, the pretense, you mean? Yeah, that. I get the gist, but I want to know the deets. The deets are that Machiavellians aren't exactly crowd favorites, particularly those among us with an uncanny insight into the future and no talent for concealing it. Wait. Hold up, you're telling me you can see the future? No, nothing so saturant. I get feelings, hunches, occasional whispering offering me a glimpse of what might be. Sounds pretty nifty to me. Believe me, it's anything but. It's impossible to tell if these whispers are a boon or a bane. Wait, so your own voices are screwing with you? Yes. That's seriously messed up. No response. I take that as he agrees. So, these whispers, did they tip you off when you saved those anarchs 2 years back? He seemed surprised that I remember his little confession. In a way, I was lucky to guess right, and lucky that Turok cut me some slack for my erratic gift. I nod silently, piercing together our conversation in my head. Everything clicks into place except for one nagging question. But if you understand these voices and their origins, why bother dissecting them? I hear many voices, each of them distinct but also the same. It is difficult to explain. But among them is one that is exclusive. It doesn't come from any known place and can't be quieted? Not even by my ring. I need to uncover its source and purpose. So it's nastier than the others. Not exactly, just enactment. And there's only one. He pauses, his fingers itching towards the cursed ring. Then he clearly abandons what he's about to say. Nobody seems to know a damn thing about it. I squint at him, suspicion tightening in my features. You're holding out on me again. Of course I am, but I'm being open about it. It's impossible to share everything about oneself. I find that fascinating. Don't you know? Don't you? No matter how transparent you try to be, there are always aspects of your life you keep to yourself, intentionally or not, the nuances of our situations. What a load of crap. I mentally check out for a bit, then I cut off his philosophical rambling. Cool it, Gandalf. Keep your secrets. Just remember, I'm not letting fate roll the die for me. We already have one reckless idiot in this team, and that's me. He seems stunted, but in the end tosses me a small but genuine smile. Thank you. Truly. Had I known you would be so understanding, I might have told you sooner. I apologize for misjudging you, Callie. Ugh, feelings. Don't make me feel things, it's not my style. As you wish. So shall we go back to the unimportant stuff? Yeah, but we should. Unless you got more bombshells to drop. I'm just messing with him, but I catch a flicker of genuine panic on his face. He quickly makes it and masks it and chooses, and I choose, just this once, to pretend I didn't notice. No, nothing else to declare, but I admit I am quite curious about your real name. Nah, we're definitely not there yet. So, Renard, why is the circulatory system so obsessed with getting him out of the picture? I mean, there's a whole blood trade thing, sure, but why the sudden urgency? I'm guessing it's because they know something we don't. That's a reasonable hypothesis. Right. Every now and then I hit the nail on the head. Now, if the Carmelia hadn't swiped my laptop, I might have done some deep digging online with all my tech, but honestly, it probably wouldn't have made a damn difference. A behemoth like the circulatory system probably uses a sealed off intranet for all their dirty laundry. If only I could hack into their database, but it all woulda, should at this point. Hold that thought. Getting into the circulatory system database might just be within our grasp. I squint at him. He's full of surprises tonight. Must be the bloodshed getting to him. Have you ever come across someone named... Oh, God, no, not Kaiser. I might have caught wind of him. Isn't that the slick, sharky guy? It would be prudent to avoid discussing his appearance, especially his presence. Kaiser is quite the figure here in New York. A veritable eminence. Grace whose influence extends everywhere like a spider web. There's little he doesn't know, even with the recent alteraction with the Lansombra Primogene. Yeah, what is the story? What happened? I'm not privy to the particulars, only that it profoundly disturbed Kaiser. Ah, that Primogene sounds pretty cool. I should definitely not meet with them then. I don't want no altercations. I doubt you have much to say in whether the Primogene chooses to seek you out. Anyway, if you want to operate under the Carmelia's radar, Kaiser, our kindred. Yeah, but hooking up with someone like that? I mean, I'm not even planning to stick around in New York much longer. Piling up debts while hunting for my sire sounds like a nightmare. That is fair. Well then, we don't have any other... Hold up. What about that Machiavellian savant? Word on the street is she's pretty slick with intel. You know her, right? You're talking about Hope? You mean Hope, the CEO of Double Spiral. Right, her. She's famous for her tech chops. Some chatter about her back in LA too. Well, she might not be the best fit for the job. Cracking open the database is one thing, getting her hands on it is another. But she's been a thorn in Kaiser's side lately, having steadily gained ground in his areas of influence. Maybe she picked up some new tricks she hasn't unleashed yet. It's your call, Callie. This is about your sire, after all. Honestly, none of those options are exactly stellar, but beggars can't be choosers, right? I'd say probably Kaiser. He'll give us better information. Hate to say it, but I think our best bet is the city's top info broker. Risky as he seems. Alright, I'll set up the meeting for tomorrow night. Just after sunset, meet me at my haven as soon as possible. You'll find another place to crash tonight, I take it? He's learning. Neat. Yeah, I'll be there. Pinky promise. He flashes me a knowing grin and nods. Then we go our separate ways, melting into the vanishing night. Kinda ironic, isn't it? The deeper I sink into this mess, the lighter I feel. Oh, feeding opportunities. Okay. We'll do this one later. We'll pick this back up next week. Okay, we'll pick this back up next week. Mostly because my head is hurting really kind of bad. Yeah, I do need to go real quick. So I'm not sure if we're gonna do a stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're gonna do a stream tomorrow. I definitely want on Monday though. Definitely want on Monday. Okay. So I'll catch you all. I do really need to go though. So I'll catch you all guys later. Have a good night. Bye bye. Bye bye.